Morning, afternoon, or evening. It looks like you are opting to watch a video that comes in more than one part, probably because it was lengthy and we like to keep them kind of short so people don't have to sit too long. So this could be a two-parter, three-parter, or four-parter. I don't know which one you're looking at, but just wanted to let you know if you are on, say, part one and it has a part two, that part originally will come out on a date separate than part one. So just keep a lookout for the same title name where it says part two, part three, or part four, and then you should find your way accordingly. I hope you enjoy and I hope it helps clear up some sort of concept that someone was asking about. I'll see you later. Bye-bye now. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. There was a request by somebody if I could do some sort of video explanation on filling out the function report, the SSA 3373, for someone who is like a mental health disability claim. The special reminders is on the next page now. It's going to say page 5 out of 10, but I think it's page, what did I say, 3? Do you need any special reminders to take care of personal needs and grooming? A lot of times with depression and maybe even anxiety because you're so focused on other things, but specifically the bad depression, people aren't interested in their personal needs and grooming. A lot of times the family members will be like, Dad, you got to shower, you stink. Dad, when's the last time you showered? It's been a week, you really stink. Um, and that would also be true of brushing the hair, changing the clothes, maybe there's stains all over the shirt, you know. It's incredible what can happen. So, same thing with reminders to take medicine when we are depressed or overly anxious, our concentration, like we were talking about before, concentration, focus, recall, retention. Did I take that early this morning? Let's just take it twice a day. Did I take my first dose? And if you need help, is it because someone else is helping you, or do you have to write it down? Do you forget to write it down? Do you have a little thing right there on the counter with the meds? That kind of thing. Meals. Do you prepare your own meals? Yes or no? I would include in this grabbing a banana off the counter or an apple out of the fridge. Although you're not preparing, I would mention it because that might be all you're eating or a bag of chips. So don't pretend like you're so depressed you don't even feed yourself. You do, it might just be crap, right? But I would make it clear how simplified it is. Like I literally like if there's a yogurt, I'll grab it. If your appetite is different, this is probably the area of where to say how often do you prepare meals. If you have a really bad, poor appetite now, you probably do it a lot less. And you could say, I don't prepare them, but I grab a pre-made thing. Um, a frozen dinner they have as one of the examples. You're not actually preparing it, but you're throwing it in the microwave, right? And so I would include that because it's kind of like, what efforts are you able to do to get yourself fed? So you want to show that you don't have the motivation. You're not physically disabled, but you do not have the motivation to really spend 30 minutes preparing something, putting it together, because food just doesn't interest you in that much. Because if food interested you that much, that almost sounds like less severe depression. You can still be depressed, but maybe not the kind that's going to be pervasive in terms of preventing you from doing the boring tasks because you're willing to do it with the food. Um, yeah, it asks you how often you prepare foods. Again, if you have an impaired appetite, you might have seen that the amount of times you actually go and put something together for yourself is less. So that's going to be on a, case by case basis, whatever happens to you. How long does it take you? If you're doing 2 or 3 hour meal preps, you probably do not have the severest of depression. Just my guess, just from what I've seen, and I'm not a mental health professional, but I'm just saying this from everything I've seen for the last 20 whatever years. And then any changes in cooking habits since the illness and or condition began. That's where you can talk about, hey, I used to make multi-course meals for my family. We used to have sit-down dinners every night with all the basics. And now we don't do that at all. I don't do it. my spouse does it, or my eldest child, who's now 18, does it, or now kind of like we just order out a lot, get pizza, um, pre-made stuff. So that's your opportunity to show that this has affected you that bad. Because as we know, and I have to say, I wasn't really a big cooker when my kids are grown. My husband was though, so and I supported him in that. But like I had the mom that stayed home and cooked dinners every night. So when my dad came home from his heavy work, the family all ate together. So I know that's like a dying breed, right? Hopefully it'll come back. 14 is the house and yard work. I will say, by and large, with severe depression, anxiety, particularly the depression, it's again that motivating thing. The energy to do it is often very lacking. And these things tend to be done far less often where the house is kind of dirty. Think about your house now and think about what it used to be when you were of healthy mind. What is the difference? You might have a spouse that does all the cleaning, and so you don't really see a difference because someone else is doing it for you, but you kind of have to exemplify it. It might be where you do all of these things, but you do them so infrequently that you want to make it clear that it's infrequent. Like I have done, because it says the ones that you're able to do. If you are so depressed that you don't do the things that should be done 2 or 3 times a week, then you're not able to do them two or three times a week because of your depression. And I would kind of make that clear about the motivation and the energy and the just don't care. It's so trivial to me because of how bad I feel from a mental standpoint. B in 14 is how much time does it take you and how often do you do each of these things? So again, if you're doing them every day and you're able to do them every day and do them for a normal amount of time, um, that's gonna be evidence of not being as severely disabled as someone who can't do that. Because remember, household chores are a job. And if you can do them at home on a reliable, steady basis, does it mean you can work 8 hours a day? No, but it certainly doesn't mean you can't, right? Do you need help or encouragement doing these things? I will say it from what I've seen, that is often the case, particularly with the depressive group, not necessarily with the anxiety group. Um, family members would be like, come on, can you just get up and just help me a little bit with the house? It does cause strife, right? When someone else isn't, when one of us is not pulling the weight, doing some of the chores that we physically can do. And I think it goes a little unrecognized at first by family members that just think the person's lazy or whatever, and it's not, particularly if you know them from before and they were never like that. It can be the depression. Um, and it's so pervasive when it gets bad. That part is over. If you're looking for the following part, if there is one, or a preceding part to the same video that was longer, just look under the channel for the same title video. They are named the same and they just have part one, part two, part three, or whatever part it is. So feel free to take a look, see, and complete the video. Take care.